Forgot I muted myself. Good evening, welcome to the Serve America with me, your host DeAndre Pace, and co-host Rhett Williams. It's been a while since we've been here, so let's go ahead and get started. First of all, we took off a couple weekends ago because it was our good co-host's birthday, so we let him have the week off for his birthday, and then last week we just couldn't get anything together. So for this week, I want to talk. Um, we talked a little bit about this Wednesday, but I want to talk some more about it tonight, and that is the election results. How do they make us feel? What do we think, and what are the predictions going into the future? After having some time to look at some things, and also see that counting still hasn't stopped in several states, and there are still some inconsistencies in several states, some suspicious things happening in several states. So, as soon as my co-host can get his shit together and get on, I'll let him start off since you've all heard my opinion on Wednesday. So, Mr. Williams, start us off here. Are you having a Darth Brandon moment? Your mic's not working.
I
There
didn't
you
know to
go.
unmute it. Okay. So I am having a dark Brandon
Well, yeah,
moment.
well, yeah. What's with the Ray Bans?
They're definitely not Ray Bans, but thank you for assuming they were.
Darth Brandon.
Well, this polarization's messing with my view of the screen.
Oh, you got a new lighting system?
No, I just have this. It's an orange light bulb that I have on. Anyway, I
Looks
don't
like a
think.
different microphone too. Is that a new microphone?
No,
Yeah, it looks different. I guess I just don't normally. I guess I normally don't see that much of it. Is the thing.
oh man, I really don't want to get stuck on politics, but I
Well, we
suppose
have
it's
to. It's the it's
obligatory
the
that we
it's
have
the
to say
season.
something about it. Um,
And you
I
missed it,
don't
and you
think
missed the Wednesday show when you were supposed to come on and give your thoughts.
I don't think anyone expected the way that it turned out. It was kind of like a result that nobody, you had people like Michael Moore all the way out in left field predicting, oh, there's going to be a blue tsunami. Of course, that didn't happen. And you have a lot of Democrats celebrating like they won or something, and a lot of Republicans behaving like they lost, but they didn't actually lose. They obviously it wasn't the margin that was expected, and you can mostly blame that on the GOP establishment, like Mitch,
Lindsey Graham.
Kevin, Lindsey Graham. Yeah, those people, because they basically abandoned some of their candidates out there. And
Well, not only that, but like for instance, Lindsey basically sabotaged them at 6% election. Starts talking about banning abortion across the entire country.
oh yeah, that's stupid. And it's stupid. It's like he really didn't want to win because the majority of Americans are not in favor of a blanket ban. So that was pretty ridiculous. Of course, it's not even something they're going to do. But and the Supreme Court would likely strike it down because it's federal and they sent it back to the states. So the only thing that could change it would have to be a constitutional amendment, and that requires way more support than it can ever get.
Yeah, or unless they try
But
to
the
pass
races that
it
are still
more.
outstanding, you still got, of course, Mark Kelly has retained his seat in Arizona. You still have Adam Laxalt, who's ahead by 862 votes in Nevada,
It doesn't look
which
good
may evaporate.
because of the twenty
And of
thousand
course,
mail-in votes.
it's
In
may again
Florida.
if Adam Laxalt does win that seat, then yet again it's going to come down to a runoff in Georgia.
Did correct me if I'm wrong? I think I saw it earlier this morning. Did they call the governor's race for Nevada for the Republican?
Yes.
Okay. So that does give some hope for Adam. But
The
because
biggest
the mail-in
news,
ballots, it's going to be a little bit tricky in Clark County.
well, a lot of the mail-in ballots that are outstanding in Nevada were ballots that were dropped off in person by the voter, not in drop boxes, and that favors Republicans. So it's still pretty much a toss-up there. But really, the biggest news of the night was Florida. Florida is no longer a purple state. It's deep red at this point, thanks to Ron DeSantis. He flipped Palm Beach County, Miami-Dade County
Miami-Dade, yeah.
red. He won the Hispanics by like 13 to 15 points. Yeah. So, and he blew out Charlie Crist by almost 20 points, if not 20 points.
Now, I now, do you agree with me that the biggest loss in this race goes to Dr. Oz?
I don't know.
How do you lose
Honestly,
somebody
Dr.
who's
Oz
better
is,
than?
well, if you see it from the perspective of this, Dr. Oz was a terrible candidate. He didn't even live in Pennsylvania. They just picked the wrong guy. The
Well,
Republicans did.
I also think some Pennsylvania as a whole is to blame as well. I mean, let's face the facts. They were voting for 2 months before there was ever even a debate. You know?
Well,
And
yeah, obviously. And then after the debate happened, you know, one of the things, the Google searches that spiked in Pennsylvania, how do I change my vote? That
yeah,
was after the debate.
yeah, exactly. And another thing, another big issue for Republicans is the Democrats. They play politics very, very well. The Republicans, uh, you know, I don't like early voting, but if Democrats are using it to their advantage, what the hell are the Republicans doing? I mean, you have Democrats voting for 2 months, and you expect Republicans to come out on election day to curve 2 months of voting. Republicans need to get their game together,
Well, what they need
or
to do
change
is
the law.
take off the gloves because they're still trying to play fair. What they have to do, honestly, this is what needs to happen is an election day amendment. But that's not going to happen, at least not for a long time. But it should be election day, and it should be mildly disincentivized, as in like not that people who want to vote should be able to vote, but you should actually have to get up and go do it. So that way it weeds out all the people who really don't care that much.
I agree. As I've said, and you guys give me a little flack when I say this, but as I've said, I believe that voting is not a right; it's a privilege that you should have the right to exercise. And
When have I ever given you flack for that?
well,
I definitely agree.
you guys are giving me flack saying that we shouldn't have poll taxes or things in place that will prevent people
Well, a
from.
poll tax is a little bit excessive, but
Yeah,
it was never a right. If it was a right, it would have been in the Bill of Rights.
yeah, exactly. But what do we when on Wednesday night we did some projections here. I don't know if you have permission to share your screen or not, but I'm going to do this because this isn't Zoom, so I don't know if you can even share your screen. Do you even see a feature that says share screen on your side? I don't think so, but
Yeah,
you do.
yeah.
I want you to share. I want you to go to two 270 to win, and I want you to share your screen. I want you to show me, based upon the election data of tonight, I want you to show me what you're projecting would happen in 2024. And I want two different scenarios from you. I want a scenario from you if Trump wins or runs, and I want a scenario from you if DeSantis runs. After you stop dying. We're facing some technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. My co-host is just dying on camera. It's nothing to be alarmed about. We'll bring him back to life in a few moments. But, but while that's been said, I'm going to go ahead and set some stuff up here. Let me move this over here, and that way we can take a look at some things here. I want to take a look at some stories that we can talk about tonight. Oh, what's this? Oh yeah. See. I want to see this one too. Yeah, let's open that one up. What the hell? Oh, we gotta look at this. Are you back? Are you alive? Or are you still dying? Looks like you're still dying.
Seemed like some acid crept up my throat.
Well, so go ahead and do that 270 to win, and run through those scenarios for me. Start with whichever one you feel more comfortable with, DeSantis or Trump, and tell me what do you see as far as the election cycle, given the data that we have right now.
Okay, I mean, it's probably not going to be very accurate. We're too far away.
Yeah, but it's for fun.
By the way, if you take the raw vote number, it didn't translate into House seats, but the Republicans actually won popular vote number by 5 percentage points.
And that's actually
I believe
actually
4
pretty nice.
were flipped red.
Yeah, including the D Triple C, the third ranking Democrat, uh, Maloney. He's held that seat
But
for 40 years. But at the same time, we also have to
by
understand that
state.
New York also had redistricting. So this was Maloney's first time actually campaigning for people that weren't actually in his district, since he's in a completely different district. So Maloney might have lost this time, but it doesn't mean that he won't be able to regain it next time. So we have to keep on that. But New York has always been historically uh, red when it comes to to the state. But New York City is what dominates the vote for executive branches or Senate races. New York City is the one that clobbers all of that.
Obviously, all of this depends on the kind of election that these people are able to run, and if the party, the national party, is actually going to give them support like normal.
You know, which we saw a lot of that. Mitch McConnell wouldn't send any money to Blake Masters, wouldn't send anything to Herschel Walker, wouldn't send anything to, a lot of them. Let me pop this on the screen. So run me through what we got going on here. Well, I always just type in interactive election map on Google. So so start
So
start
a
with
lot of
Pennsylvania.
these states didn't have any elections at all.
Yeah, a lot of them didn't. Start with Pennsylvania for me. Do you think Pennsylvania is a toss-up state anymore, or is it blue all the way?
It depends on who's running. Um, well, let's just say DeSantis. Okay,
All right, so start with DeSantis.
could be Trump, but if Trump is going, if he announces soon, he's got to switch back into 2016 Trump mode, be like he's been, and he's got to stop talking about 2020
Oh, that's not what I have.
because, well, it'll hurt him because there's going to be people in 2024 coming into the coming of age vote. They're not going to know anything about what he's talking about.
That's true,
It,
but it also
if he
hurts
doesn't
Trump.
stop, then he's not in.
It also hurts Trump because the establishment Republicans like Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, they are, especially Lindsey Graham, they're so wishy washy with Trump, and they are really trying to
I think
excommunicate
he
him
hurts
from the
himself more
party.
than anyone else.
He does hurt himself more than anyone else, but it doesn't help him when the party's leaders are fighting against him. I wish you'd stop dying over here.
I don't know what the margins were in all these states. I mean, it's probably going to go blue. I, Dr. Oz was a terrible candidate, but I think DeSantis would be able to flip it. I think DeSantis might be able to flip some blue states.
Okay, go ahead. Go
I don't
do
know
the
if Trump
map.
can.
Do the map on your DeSantis predictions, and do the map on your Trump predictions. I want to see both.
Obviously, by the way, you know James Carville, right? The Democratic strategist, the guy from Louisiana.
Yeah,
He's on Fox a lot. These big glasses, bald head.
yeah.
So I just saw an article where he was just like, Democrats should get like basically give up on Florida and start looking at Mississippi.
Yeah,
It
that's
doesn't
what
make
I
any sense.
that's what I was
He's
just
like,
saying
oh, there's a
today.
lot of
I was just talking about that. I was doing a different podcast than somebody else's show a moment ago, and because of that shooting that happened down here between the police and that kid, and the Democrats are now funneling their money because you have to be people have to understand Mississippi is a third black population. And the reason why it stays Republican majority is because there are a lot of Republican blacks in Mississippi. And what the Democrats are trying to do is they're trying to use this kid's death to to get the blacks in Mississippi to swing back over to the Democrat Party because people don't understand Mississippi's only been a Republican stronghold as far as the House of Representatives is concerned uh, since since the 1990s. So less than 30 years. It's not
so
it's
yeah,
not outside the realm of possibility to think that they can get it back, especially when you take a look
I
at the
think it
map.
is.
The delta all the way down is completely blue.
They might think so. But the margins, okay, so the smallest margin of victory in our out of our 4 districts was Benny Thompson. He almost, I haven't seen the margin that close in Benny Thompson's district before. And for a while, it looked like the Republican was going to catch up. It was only 6
Yeah, well,
points separating them. Now you take
Benny
that in
Thompson also
contrast
has a lot
to
of problems, though.
4th district, which is anyway.
Okay, so go on with
I
the
don't know
map
why they
here.
have these. Uh, These are the ones that should be red anyway. Okay. Ohio is red now too, basically.
Yeah, I think so too.
So North Carolina is also North Carolina's red. I think Arizona might be blue. But they have more problems with their elections than anybody else. Somebody really needs to look into that state.
Yeah, it's a lot of fishy stuff going on with Arizona.
Shouldn't be taking that long. This is like third world country stuff. What are they doing? Like, how come
Well, then
everybody else
20%
is
of the
okay?
ballots, 20% of the ballots didn't even count.
I give them a little bit of
Like they said, they had a machine error.
95%.
You got some
It's only
latency
83%.
issues, right? You keep on lagging in and out. What's going on with your connection? Because you were fine before you started dying, and now you're going in and out. You're freezing on me. Okay, that's better.
I hear you. I just don't. I can't. Internet connection.
Okay, that's looking better.
Dude, what the hell?
All right. Look, yeah, you look like you're back to normal speed now.
I get. It's just the internet. I mean, if it does that, I can't do anything about it. It's just the connection.
Okay,
So
so
obviously,
uh,
some states must have. So the Mike Ezel's margin of victory was like 74%, which is like a ridiculous landslide. Benny Thompson and the other 2 districts were about 70% as well. Benny Thompson was like 50 something. So
Benny Thompson has some problems
he
because
should at
people
least be right
don't like
about it.
him.
Like, he sucks.
People don't like him, and he's been doing the January 6th stuff, which both Democrats and Republicans on both sides didn't like that entire thing. So the Democrats
Because it
definitely are
was
going to have to try to consider replacing him with somebody else.
So, I just doing a prediction like this so far out is difficult. And okay, I'm just going to be Minnesota. Minnesota didn't even go red for Trump, whereas the rest of the West,
It went
besides
for him. It
Illinois,
went
did.
red for him on the first time. It went red for him the first time in
Oh, it didn't.
2016. It
No,
did.
it was just Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania.
Was it
No,
just Wisconsin and Michigan? I thought it was all
and
three.
Pennsylvania. No.
Okay.
Look, I'll show you. This is what the map looked like when Trump won the first time. He got 306 votes.
Okay.
So, oh man, let me set this.
There's a reset button right there. You just hit reset. Scroll down.
I don't know why they start the map. This is 2020 competitive, whatever. But Texas and Iowa should be red already. At this point, Florida and Ohio also, and North Carolina. Now, Maine's going to go blue. I mean, it could go red it's actually similar to New Hampshire in that everybody thinks it might flip, but it never does. New
Can you
Hampshire is
move your mic?
especially that one state up there.
Can you move your mic back a little bit? You keep bumping into it.
I'm not touching it.
Well, something was happening because every time you get too close to it, yeah, it'll echo from it getting hit.
I haven't touched it. New Hampshire is that one state in the Northeast that people think is a swing state, but it actually did go red for George W. Bush. It's the only one up there that went
So,
that's gone red recently.
so you
First
think it's
time,
going to stay blue?
I think so, but it actually there was a good chance if the Republicans would have put more resources into that Senate race that they could have taken that seat. It was close enough.
Okay,
So
so
how
these
about
are
we
your
just
projections for DeSantis.
um, well, if it's DeSantis, then it's going to be something like this. I would
So
think.
you think DeSantis gets about the same margin that Trump got, except he's going to pick up Nevada.
Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to add Virginia to that as well
You think he
because
can flip
you
Virginia?
know Youngkin. I think he can. And honestly, if I'm being optimistic, I think that it would that DeSantis could flip New Hampshire. Um, you know what was another one that was unexpected? Oregon. I don't think. No, I highly
Yeah,
that would happen.
I don't think
But
Oregon's going to
this
flip
is what I
anytime
would
soon.
say
What about New Mexico? What
is
are you
good.
thinking about New Mexico? Do you think DeSantis could flip New Mexico?
I don't know. It's not usually that close in Mexico, but
It was a very close. When I looked at the polling data in New Hampshire,
this is if
it was it was pretty close this time around with the Republicans. I mean, it was only like a couple of points. And with DeSantis having such a
for
big
the House.
Hispanic base, yeah, for the House, it was pretty close for the House.
Okay, well, let's say New Mexico um, and Minnesota. This is a optimistic map right here. I don't expect it to actually pan out this way, but this is if everything goes great. Colorado could also be in play.
I thought it was going to be in play this time, but it turned out it wasn't.
Well, a lot of people got disappointed because right towards the last few days, the polls were really, optimistic. But how it turned out was how it was projected to turn out a couple months ago.
Yeah, that's true.
But so
So this
if
is
Trump,
best case scenario for DeSantis.
I think so. Yeah. You know, it would be cool because Lee Zeldin was only about 6 points behind, and usually the governor's race in New
That's
York
what
is
I'm
not that close.
thinking. I'm thinking that, if you have a good candidate
See,
and they actually put money there, if New York flipped, it will be all over for the Democrats, period. The Democrats would have to take Pennsylvania and Georgia just to be able to stand a chance if New York ever
I
flipped.
think that New York is in striking distance.
Because of the people fleeing to
I think
Florida,
New
yeah.
York is will be in play in 2024 in
It
Colorado.
looks like
These
it.
are like states that I think will actually be in play: Colorado, Oregon, maybe even Maine. And I'm not saying that that's going to be part of his victory. I'm saying those could be in play.
You should put them as toss ups instead of his victory. Yeah. Click the yeah, that one there. Yeah, you've already got the toss up thing on.
Third, okay, we'll make them yellow. Um, what else did I say? Colorado. Hmm. Well, I think I'm going to add some of these other states that I was being optimistic about to toss up. Um, Minnesota. I mean, the rest of them are,
You think
I think
Virginia's going to be
legitimately.
solid for him?
I don't know. It could. It's usually not that big of a margin.
Yeah, Glenn Youngkin Glenn Youngkin campaigned just excellently there.
I can't change it back. What the hell?
You gotta click the color. So this is what we're looking at here. Hmm. So that's
Everything
what your
goes.
projections are for DeSantis. So what are you thinking
I'm
about
not.
for
Well,
Trump?
I'm not committing to this yet. Obviously, this is just a rough draft. Trump. And, uh,
Assuming he
let's see.
runs a
Say
good campaign.
if a strong working class base, I think he picks up at least Wisconsin again, maybe Michigan. But he lost them last time.
Yeah, he lost it last time.
Pennsylvania,
I don't know about
I just
Pennsylvania,
don't know. I don't know if Trump can come back from this.
but
So it's not going to
right
be as
there,
optimistic.
if he got the three Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, he'd win. Just from what you have there. Problem is Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin and Georgia are all seeming to be more and more blue. At least after these legislative election cycles.
This is why it's so hard to make a prediction at this point. But, you can't always use the midterms as a good bellwether.
True.
But if he reverts back to his 2016 Trump, then he could pick up maybe all of these. But obviously, I can't say maybe Virginia as well. I'm just saying
That would
Virginia
put him
is
right
what's
back.
happened this
That would
year.
put him right back where he was in 2016 at 306.
Yeah, just a different path. Either way, it's probably gonna-
And your connection's
this point,
going bad.
took that election, this midterm, even though he lost and he's not going to be able to get anything because at the most he'll run to the legislative bodies. But whatever.
Yeah. Okay,
All
so
right.
all right, you don't have to share your
Just
screen
going to be
anymore.
like it
That's all I wanted to
normally
see.
is, a divided government.
That's what I wanted to see. You don't have to share your screen anymore. Maybe taking off the screen share will get your connection to be back where it was.
Divided government is normal Washington, and that's better for all of us. They get to do as much.
Yeah, especially underneath this current administration.
But at least the
But
House will be able to, if they do,
I,
they'll be
wa-
able
I
to open
want I want to get your
investigations,
opinion on this. I'm
hopefully.
gonna. Well, that's the thing. The Republicans they campaign on a lot of investigations, so I think that's what killed them in this election. Again, the Republicans they don't do well at messaging. But sure, we want to see the investigations, but don't make that your campaign model. We want to know actual policies. What are you going to do to help with inflation? What are you going to do to get gas prices down? What are you going to do to bring food costs down? What are you going to do to keep us out of war? They didn't do any of that. They didn't talk about any of those. Like, oh, we're going to investigate Hunter Biden. Okay, yeah, I'd love to see that investigation, but you got to try to win the independents and some of the Democrats that don't really fit in the Democrat Party anymore. And the Republicans didn't do that; they sucked ass.
I've always wondered why there are so many people who claim to be independent voters. They've always perplexed me because this mysterious group, well, they assumingly they're the people who switch their votes back and forth. So basically, they seem like the people with no actual idea
No,
of
no
what they're
real
doing.
convictions. You know,
They don't have
you
yeah, they don't have any principles.
you said to me that you would be pissed off with libertarian candidates if they got in the way of some of these elections. What do you think about the libertarian candidate that was running uh, in Georgia in the Herschel and Warnock district, and he took about 90,000 votes from either one of those candidates. And he was interviewed about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I kind of figured I would take some of those." But then you also have in Arizona where Victor, whatever his last name was, he took about 2% of the vote, even though 1 week earlier he dropped out of the race but didn't take himself off the ballot. So he took about 2% of the vote, which could have went to either Blake Masters or the Democrat candidate.
I don't know. The only thing you can say about the dude in Georgia is that he guaranteed a runoff.
Yeah, he
But
did.
also, we don't know if those people would have voted for either of the other people. They might not have voted at all. I mean, there's really no way to know.
That's true.
People usually assume that they'll break for the Republican, but I don't think that's true. I think they go about 50-50.
I was shocked. Alden got about 2% of the vote down here.
But it's still not that much. Like, I think the reason he got what he got is because he actually did campaign and make appearances and stuff. And usually the Libertarian doesn't ever do that here.
True. Alden did show up almost everywhere, wherever he was given an opportunity, and I wish more of them would do that. Uh, but I want to turn your attention to this over here because this I just saw this. This is the Washington Post top 10 GOP presidential candidates of 2024. Let's see if we agree with any of them. So let's take a look here. So continue reading. They say number 10, Rick Scott. What do you think?
I don't ever think about that guy.
I think he would be an automatic win for the Democrats because they would just say he wants to get rid of Social Security. Which, to be honest, I want to get rid of Social Security too, but that's not a policy platform that you should run on because you will lose.
No, I mean, in the general election, you have to be pretty moderate.
Exactly. I mean, once you get in there, then become a dictator. Don't become a dictator before you get in there.
I don't think he would be a good choice, and I don't think he'll probably. I don't know if I don't. We never hear from him anyway. I don't. I mean, sometimes he's on TV, but
I don't think he has good
I don't.
charisma
I
for
don't.
it either.
I would never vote for that guy.
Yeah, he seems.
Yeah, he's just like he's a mannequin.
Yeah, I don't like him. Mike, what about
He's like
Mike
I
Pompeo?
don't like Mike Pompeo.
You don't like
I
him
think
either?
he's a no, he's an establishment insider, neocon, warmonger.
I think he
He's
would be
like
a warmonger too.
John Bolton.
Yeah, I think so. Nikki Haley.
Yeah, I don't really care for her.
Yeah, I don't
No,
think
she
she'd
used
be
to be the
that good.
governor of South Carolina.
She was also the ambassador to the United Nations under
I don't.
Trump.
I don't think she would be a very strong candidate.
I don't think so either. Ted Cruz. Yeah, I already know your
I
opinion
don't.
on
I
that.
don't want to see that dude's stupid face anymore. He just needs to do what he's doing, and that's it. All right,
Yeah,
Zodiac killer.
I already knew your appearance. So I already knew about Ted Cruz. Carrie Lake. She's an up and comer.
Terry Lake would probably be. She'd be a good candidate, but if she loses the race in Arizona, then
yeah,
that
it's,
would be
her
a
career is kind
terrible.
of over.
She'd be a great vice presidential pick.
If not vice presidential, I think she'd be a good cabinet member.
Yeah,
Maybe
I would
not
agree with that.
Secretary of State. I don't know if she. I don't know that I trust her to be Secretary of
I
State
think
given that, but she'd be a pretty good advisor. I think.
I see her as well. She'd be a great press secretary
Yeah. Oh
because
yeah.
that
She
was
would
her
be really.
job.
She'd be a really good press secretary, almost in the league of Kayleigh McEnany and Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Those are really good ones. I mean, you can only get better from here. I mean, you can't go worse than Karine Jean Pierre. Uh, Tim Scott, the black guy from South Carolina.
Yeah, he's another one I don't ever really think about.
Yeah, he
I
has
mean,
he has no personality.
yeah, he doesn't. He really doesn't. I don't really know. I can't even say a cabinet position he'd be good for because I don't know anything about him.
I think he's
I
good
don't
where
ever
he's
see
at.
him.
I think he's good where he's at.
Yeah, he's probably good as a legislator. That's it.
Governor Glenn Youngkin, who flipped Virginia.
I figure he should stay in Virginia.
I think so too. He's got the vest. I
I mean, in the long run, he might be good as a cabinet secretary in some
Yeah,
office,
I
but I
think he
don't.
might be good for Kevin. I think honestly, what he should go for after governorship is probably Senate, but I think that's as far as he should go.
I don't know. I can't comment any further. Department of Education.
Num Department, yeah, Department of Education. Number three, Mike Pence. Do you think
Oh
he'll run?
hell no, dude! I hate that guy.
What's wrong with Mike Pence?
He's got. I've never liked him. Like ever since he got picked, I didn't like him because he just seems like a. Well, I don't know if it's true, but I've listened to what people have said about him, and he seems like a religious zealot, but he probably isn't.
Jay would love him. Um,
I know he would, but I don't like religious zealotry. But I don't
Mike
really. I don't think Mike Pence is really that. I think that's just what leftists call him.
Mike Pence strikes me. Well, I mean, he did solve the AIDS epidemic in Indiana when he was governor. So, I mean,
And maybe he should be
he can't hate gay people all
Department of
that
Health and
bad.
Human Services.
I think
Trump would never. Trump would. I don't think DeSantis or Trump would ever pick him for anything.
I think
He's tainted.
Mike Pence is he's the Republican version of Harry S. Truman. He's got the same look. He's just missing the glasses.
You're way off track with that. I don't know why he would ever run though. Nobody would. Nobody's going to vote for. Does he really think he would win?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Mike Pence will win either. I think the Trump loyalists would crush Pence.
I think that a lot of these people who run for president in the primary, they're not doing it because they expect to win. They just want a position
Now this
in the
is
government.
well, this is the Washington Post top 10 picks. These people haven't announced that they're running yet, but this is their top 10
Oh
picks.
yeah, I know that. I know they're not, but I'm saying a lot of them probably will.
Yeah. I don't think Tim Scott's going to run though. I really don't think Tim Scott's going to run. I think he knows that he has no personality and that he shouldn't run.
Yeah. I hope he knows.
Rick Scott, I think he'd run though.
Yeah. The Scots.
Donald Trump.
We've already been over this.
Yeah,
Ron
and
DeSantis.
then Ron DeSantis. We already know that one of these guys is running, and one of these guys is going to win the uh the primary.
The
We
only
already
thing
know
about
that.
DeSantis, and we discussed this before, the only thing about him that I'm a little wary of is that I think he is a guy that the establishment would actually like.
Well, I mean, he was a Navy man. I think he'd be um
But you might need some of that.
I think he'd be more likely to start a war than Trump would.
I don't know. I mean, all you could say is, oh, he's been in the military. But
At the
also,
same time,
sometimes it's
that
good.
at the
Sometimes it's
same
good to
time
have connections, though.
that might make him not want to start a war though. Having been in the military and having seen his friends have their limbs blown off, you know, at the same time that might keep him from
Well, I
doing
think he was
war.
actually a JAG. I don't think
Yeah, he was a jag.
he was but it's good to have connections, and sometimes you need an insider, or at least somebody who knows insiders, but just don't surround yourself with them.
That was Trump's problem. He didn't know. I mean, he knew people because he gave them money, but he didn't know anybody.
But he absolutely surrounded himself
Yeah,
with the
he
swamp people.
exactly. He surrounded himself with swamp creatures when he should have fired everybody. Just went in there and said
You
on
know,
day one you're fired.
I can understand maybe having one or two swamp creatures, but not like all of them.
Exactly.
You need some connections, but
Given the
he
choice
was sinking in
between
the quicksand.
given the choice between the two, who would you rather run? in 2024? Trump or DeSantis?
Right now, at this point, dude, I don't even know. I would at this point, I want to say DeSantis, but that's just how I feel right now. It could change.
Fair enough. I think I think for me, I'm still on DeSantis needs to come after Trump because I think, as I said before, I think Trump he doesn't have to run again. So I think he should get in there and fire everybody, drain the swamp, and then DeSantis can come in there and clean house in 2020 in 2028.
Yeah, I understand that, and that's where I was coming from at first. But sometimes you don't always get what you want, and there's no guaranteeing that it's going to go that way, even if Trump does win.
The biggest problem
You
with
know,
Trump running is his pathway to victory is so marginalized. It's so polarized because of what the media has been doing to this man for the last several years.
yeah, that's why I said DeSantis. I think he has a much better chance of actually winning, and I'd prefer winning over obviously another 4 years of any Democrat.
Exactly, me too. So I also want to go over this. I just saw this. I don't know if this is true or not, so let's read it. Stimulus update. Direct $1,050 relief payments loaded onto debit cards to be sent
California.
out in January. So this is to California. Is this California? Okay, so this is a
That's
California
why I
thing.
always ignore that crap because I'm just like free money. Yeah, of course, like everybody, because who doesn't want free money? But
I wasn't meaning it
then
for
I
me.
look and I'm just like, oh my God,
I wasn't
California,
meaning it for me,
obviously.
but just what do you think? I mean, this is obviously them buying votes, just like the Biden administration tried to purchase young people's
Well, they
votes and
let
get
them
the
buy it.
election.
It's California, dude. It's never gonna flip. Who cares?
Hmm.
They do
Yeah,
what they do.
California. We don't need to read that anymore. So this one right
California is a
here,
welfare state.
this one right here. So this one was talking about Trump, talking about DeSantis. What do you think? Trump has been attacking DeSantis a lot lately. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a terrible idea to be doing that already. There's not even a primary. Neither one of them's declared, and he's already targeting him. Like he's a member of his own party. He should, you know, be a little bit more sensible about that. He's just doing to what Trump does, but that I don't know what that article's about.
Yeah, this is talking about that Trump claims that he saved the campaign for Ron DeSantis and Rick Scott in Florida's 2018 election, but
He did.
an anonymous
That's
Trump
true.
official says that it was bullshit. So somebody that was close to Trump, apparently, according to this, why are they always anonymous, right? According to this, he says
Could be anybody.
that is bullshit. Trump had nothing to do with it.
Well, that's not true though. Ron DeSantis' 2018 margin of victory was extremely narrow. Without the Trump endorsement, he probably wouldn't have won.
Yeah, see, they're saying, no, it's BS. He didn't help DeSantis. It never happened. Blah blah blah.
Well, I mean, I don't know who this anonymous whatever. I mean, it's true, but I don't think that Trump should be out there gloating about it because Andrew Gillum was very close. It was not that many votes.
Yeah, now we all
So
know.
he did endorse him, and but at the same time, I don't think Trump should be able to take credit for his success because obviously it wouldn't have happened without Ron either.
Yeah, yeah, and Ron DeSantis, what really helped him make this massive landslide uh, is his job as the governor. I mean, come on, you have to give the guy his credit. We don't even
Yeah.
talk about that hurricane
So
that hit them. They have another one hitting them right now,
everything
and people they don't even talk about it because DeSantis did
everything
such
he
a good job.
claims, like in his speeches, he can actually back up everything he says, and I respect that. He's actually done what he said he would, and when he talks about how great of a job he's done, I know that it's true. I can actually look and see. And so many people have moved to Florida. That's why they got two more electoral votes in 2020's redistricting.
Yeah,
Or not redistricting,
they actually
census.
have more population than New York now. Florida's the third most populous state in the union with 29 electoral seats. To
So that must be where they took. No, they took one from New York and one from somewhere else.
California, I
California,
believe.
maybe. Yeah, because
Texas has picked
California
up
used to
too.
have.
Texas has 40 electoral seats now. Last time Texas had 35. Texas has picked up 5 seats.
So yeah, that's good. It's all good news.
Of course, what do you think about? And I know you don't follow this, but and I don't follow it either because I think the bitch got what she deserved. What do you think about Brittany Griner's appeal being denied in Russia? Now she's been sentenced to hard labor and she's facing her prison time.
Um, I think that you're being a little bit ridiculous when you say that anybody deserves that much time for.
Well, it's not. It's
Obviously, if you're playing basketball overseas and you know the law, then you should be more careful. But you have to admit that the sentences in Russia for petty crimes are draconian.
yeah, but it's their laws. It's not. It's not like she's in America. So yeah,
I don't really have anything to say about that. I mean, it's obviously if Trump was president, she would have never been detained in the first place.
I agree with that 100%. I think if Trump was
And
president,
obviously, it clearly seems like the Biden administration doesn't care, or they're just not trying to help.
oh, I mean, they were
I
going to
mean,
try.
whatever.
They were going to try to give them the world's most dangerous man.
And obviously, they didn't agree to that, or
Yeah, yeah.
else they would have
Russia did.
already
Russia
had it.
didn't
I'm
want
sure.
that because he was an enemy of Russia too. Hell, let's see if I have anything else over here that is interesting. Oh, what's this? Ah, some conspiracy stuff for our weekend. Let me.
Got to go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, but yeah, you go to the bathroom.
You can read it. I can hear you.
I'm gonna
I've
put
got
this
this headphone.
article up while you're in the bathroom. So this article is from Exemplar, or I guess that's what it's called. It says Bigfoot caught on camera in Payson Canyon, Utah. A, a nature photographer in Utah was recording the spring runoff water when he heard an unexpected and strange noise. He turned the camera and caught what might be a Bigfoot moving through the trees. A large dark creature walking on two legs can be seen moving through the trees, while the creature is still blurry and partially hidden by the tree foliage. It seems to come from a reputable photographer who has no reason to perpetrate a hoax. While the figure seen could certainly be a mere person in a gorilla suit, it doesn't particularly look like that either. From what can be seen in the video, it doesn't appear to be covered completely from head it does appear to be covered completely from head to toe in dark hair, although its height and size is impossible to determine without measuring the trees it is walking through. So, what should you do if you spot a Sasquatch? Obviously, try to get it on video or at least get pictures of it, but too few sightings have immediate follow up. Searching the area for sightings for the sighting for hair samples, footprints, and feces certainly seems like it would be the natural next step after a sighting, as these could lend to strong supporting evidence that could be scientifically tested for more information. So, do they have the video? That's what I want to know. Do they have the video?
No, you know what? I actually did see a
Oh, here
video
they say,
of a
watch the
Bigfoot.
video here. Here it is. Here it is. Let's take a look. Let's
See if
see.
this is the one I saw.
Let's see if this is the if we got ourselves a Bigfoot. Can we
On
help? Can I blow this up?
TikTok video. This is not the one I saw. I saw one that was actually kind of convincing.
What's that? Oh no, that's what it is. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I don't know all that. Look up Bigfoot sighting in Tennessee. There's a video. I just saw
Bigfoot
this the
sighting
other
in
day.
Tennessee. Let me take that down real quick, and I think I gotta put the sound on too, so I forgot about that. Bigfoot sighting in Tennessee. Let's take a look. See, because you know I love me some Bigfoot news. Okay, let's see. Bigfoot sighting in Tennessee.
A recent one.
That's in 2012.
Click on news.
News.
Oh, that's it right there. Go down.
Which one? This
That
one.
one.
This is the one. Yeah, it's from today. That's from today. It says. Let's take a look.
Yeah, that's it.
Where's the video? There it is. Here's the video. All right, let's see. We turn the volume on.
Do you see that? I'm afraid. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I think it's a hoax.
Why don't you see that?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think that one's a hoax.
I saw those big long arms.
Because
Dude,
the arms
why do I
aren't.
hear myself
Yeah,
on your?
Do you see that?
yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
I'm afraid.
Like I could hear you. I was hearing the video and stuff, but like, look here. See, this is what got me looking at it's a hoax because you can
Oh
see
my
a
God.
white face there. That's like a mask to
Oh
me.
my
You can
God.
kind of see that there, and then I'm looking at it here. It
Oh my God.
looks
Why don't you see that?
like clothing. It doesn't. It doesn't look like. It doesn't look like real fur. And the fact that he stops it at 30 seconds when it hasn't charged him, that those are clear indicators of hoaxes to me. Yeah, I don't like hoaxes, but that's what it is. I love me some Bigfoot news because I think it's certainly one of the more interesting topics out there that we get the chance to discuss. Now, I haven't seen anything recently, but I've been hearing a lot of things from some other friends of mine that were talking about some more potential alien stuff, and you know how for some reason any
Oh
cryptid,
man.
any cryptid, the aliens, whatever it could be, Bigfoot's always related to them somehow. I don't know how, but apparently, some people believe that Bigfoot is extra dimensional, or it's actually an alien. But then you also have a group of people that believe that there were three classes of aliens that came here. You know the theory, right? You have the Greys, the reptiles, the reptilians, and then there's the ancient ones. Well, the ancient ones are supposed to be the good guys, according to the theory. The ancient ones are the good guys, and they've been here since the dinosaurs or whatever. I don't know. But the reptilians and the Greys, those are the ones you want to watch out for. And according to some people's theories, Bigfoot is one of the ancient ones. He's here protecting us from the Greys. So some people have come up with the theory that the reason why you see Bigfoots and and aliens uh, so often so close to one another is because they're fighting. Bigfoot's fighting off the Greys, keeping us safe. What do you think about that?
I don't even know, dude. I think we talked about um, what if Bigfoot is an alien?
Yeah, well, that's what they say. He's an
Oh,
alien fighting off the bad
breaking
alien.
news, sir. Democrats will keep control of the Senate. Adam Laxalt has lost to Catherine Cortez Masto in
That
Nevada.
means Democrats will have a majority in the Senate because I honestly don't see Herschel Walker winning unless the majority of those votes from the Libertarian candidates swing conservative. I mean, they're going to have presidential turnout on this runoff for Herschel Walker to win, and Republicans have to fucking show up. Otherwise, it's you know the Democrats are going to have 51 votes in the House, not in the House, in the Senate. No need for a tiebreaker, and it's still not certain as to whether or not the Republicans are going to take the House. We can project that they will, but I'm still showing, at least from Fox
I'm
News
pretty sure
decision
they will.
desk, that it's 211 to 197. And if more inconsistencies start to happen, for example, the Republicans have lost the House seat in Alaska because of the changing to the voting laws. There are two Republicans on the ticket splitting the vote. They would win if there was only one Republican. They have over 50% of the vote. The Democrat only has 44% last time I checked, and she's going to win because they changed the laws to that ranked choice voting thing in Alaska. So the Republicans are losing a House seat in Alaska.
They have more than one round.
No, not for this one. The round came up to this one. They've already been voting ranked choice up to this one.
Well, the Senate's still got a couple rounds to go.
Does it? How long is their election supposed to be? It's supposed to be done by today. I mean, well, by election day.
I know that if nobody gets 50% on the first round, the lowest person gets knocked off, and then they go to the next round, but they have to count all of it though. So it's not like they vote in another round. It's just that person, wherever they were on your 1, 2, 3, 4, that person is removed, and they go to your next choice and add that to their
And
total.
see that, and that's the problem for the Republicans. There's only one Democrat running on the ticket, so that Democrat will never get knocked off. The Republicans are competing against themselves.
Well, we can't know the, like, for example, the Senate seat. Kelly Shabaka is ahead with 44.2% of the vote. Next is Lisa Murkowski. So it looks like she might not win, but then
Lisa Murkowski will be the one knocked off because the Democrat has no contested vote.
Trisha Chesbrough, it's going to be Buzz Kelly, who's also a Republican. He will be knocked off with 2.9%.
I only saw three
And
people in there. Oh, I guess I was looking at the wrong one. The House has three people, right? Sarah Palin and the other Republican and a Democrat. That's in the House.
um, yeah, so Chris By would be knocked off, and then it would go to. I don't really. Uh, Mark Peltola, the Democrat, does not have over 50% of the vote, so they'll still have they'll have to go through the next round once they finish reporting all of this.
Have you ever thought about having no faith in an election? That system of voting right there, that's no faith in an election. I don't know how the people in Alaska have any confidence in their elections before what's going on with that. Because they've been voting for what, 3 or 4 months?
I don't know, dude. But I do know this. The reason why the Democrat has the most votes is because all the Democrats who went to vote put him as their first choice.
Exactly, because there is no
So
other
the
Democrat.
first round will knock off all the people who put the libertarian. There's people who split their first choice between Sarah Palin and the other candidate. But once round two comes around, they'll add up all the votes again. And the Democrat will probably come out, well, depending on how many people pick the Democrat for number two. I mean, I don't really understand how it works. That's just, it seems like unnecessary.
It seems like an easy way to lose faith in an election, and to
Why don't they just I mean, obviously, we're getting to see it tested out, but I think that that means they got rid of the primaries.
But they've effectively made it a primary season.
I don't know. It seems I don't. There, the advantages. I'm failing to see them right now. It seems like just a
I mean,
hassle.
because the thing about election day is we want to be able to get the results the night of the election. Now we have to wait months sometimes for some of these. November and December, and we still don't know. We won't know about Georgia because they're going to a runoff for the sixth, and then we know how slow Georgia counts, so you probably won't see the results until the 10th of December.
I thought the runoff was on the ninth.
It's on the sixth. That's what I heard, but I could be wrong. And this is how you kill faith in an election. Why is it so difficult for people? Like, for example, Arizona. Well, how many seats do they have? 14, or is it a little less than that? But
Congress,
Arizona's population is significantly less than Florida's. But Florida
have
and
nine,
Texas, 9 seats.
nine congressional.
So Arizona's population is significantly smaller than Texas and Florida. Texas and Florida finished counting all of their ballots on election night.
Well, you saw what was coming out on election day. They were having problems with the machines, so they're having to count all of them by hand.
Yeah, I
Why
told
didn't
you
they
that.
test it? Why didn't they test them out the day before?
Well, the problem that came with that was the first people who voted, which were heavy Republicans because they were coming into the polls. 20% of them, 20% of them didn't even count because the machines malfunctioned. And then those same people went to get in line. They asked the Republicans asked if they could legally have the voting days extended, the voting hours extended to allow those people to come back and recast their vote, and the judge denied it. So 20% of the people who voted may not have even counted.
Well, you know what they said. They said just fill out the ballot and somebody will count it tonight or whatever.
And then you
The
take a look at
machines weren't working.
Nevada. Nevada, Adam Laxalt. The reason why he lost, if you ask me, because I knew this was going to happen, the cameras in the poll rooms turned off, went completely black for 8 hours. And once they come back up, Adam Laxalt's only leading by 800 votes. And it comes down to the 20,000 votes in Democrat County of Clark County, Las Vegas. And they wonder why
I don't
people
know if this
have.
should be done about, certain states have free and fair elections, but there's a couple states in the country where it's very suspicious, and we are basically chastised and called crazy for even questioning it.
Yeah, we have no proof that there's election tampering, but what's happening is clearly worth checking out, clearly worth somebody figuring out what's going on. Why
Yeah,
can't you guys
and the
fix this?
fact that the fact that I don't see. Obviously, I know there's chicanery going on. I just think Trump should stop focusing so hard on it because it's hurting him. But I think somebody should still be investigating this stuff. And I'm
Chicanery,
not
I like
saying
that word.
obviously there's all I'm saying is just what you said. Basically, we should
Yeah,
we should at least be allowed to know, at least be allowed to investigate.
yeah, but they say, "Oh, why are you guys bringing all this rigmarole?" Well, we want to know what's going on. We want to have faith in the election, but
We're
have
allowed to do that in a country like this. That's what we're
when you
supposed to do.
have the same stuff happen in consecutive elections, and there's no investigation, no real investigation. Bill Barr didn't do a real investigation. Would and nobody's looking into this. None of the election laws have been tightened to make sure none of this stuff happens again. And then it happens again, and it happens even worse and more suspicious than it did the first time. It, it should
It
not
doesn't go anywhere good, clearly.
it should not take a week and a half to count ballots in a state that has less population than its neighbor that has what? Texas has what? 35 million people?
I don't know how many. A lot more. I know
Than
that.
both Arizona and Nevada combined, and they're able to get their shit together. Florida used to be the
Yeah,
laughing
you know, the
stock of the
strange thing
country.
about it is the places where this happens are always in contested states. Always.
Yes, always.
States that are close enough to be able to shift.
And the polling data can't keep up because the laws have been changed so drastically with the mail-in ballots, the drop-off boxes, all of this other stuff. And in Pennsylvania, we still don't know if it was legitimate or not. And the reason why I say that is because we don't know if they actually segregated the mail-in ballots that didn't have stamps or the correct dates or were into envelopes. We don't know any of that. They never released any of that information because the election laws have been changed so drastically. Polling data can't keep up with anything. So some polls were showing that Oz was going to win at 51%. Some polls were showing Herschel Walker was going to win the last couple of polls. But at the same time, again, many of these states started voting a month or 2 months before the election even began, and the Democrats did not debate. For example, Arizona, Carrie Lake, she is going up against Katie Hobbs. Katie Hobbs is the Secretary of State who's overseeing the election.
Right? And she wouldn't recuse herself either.
And she didn't do any debates. And she's confident that she's going to win. Well, I would be confident too if I was going to win, if I was running the election. And you know what? Apparently, one of the polling stations closed down in Arizona because they ran out of pins. So they closed the polling station down. Sent all those people home
Stealing the pins?
because they ran out of pins. They ran out of blue and black ink pins.
Were they stealing pins or something?
I assume so.
Because you
But
know how it is here. There's just a pin in the polling booth.
yeah,
You don't take it with you, you just leave it there.
I assume so. I assume they were stealing pins. But last time, last election, 2020, uh, the the Dominion ballot boxes weren't able to scan them properly because they were giving them Sharpie markers, and so the Scantron wasn't able to scan the ballot because it was bleeding through. So Arizona has some problems, and Katie Hobbs is their Secretary of State. So I wonder why things are going that way. Also, Rhett, switch back over to Pennsylvania. Well, guess what? The Republican should have won Pennsylvania by default. Why is that? The Democrat who won by 80% died a month and a half ago, and he's still on the ballot. And he won. They elected a dead guy.
So how? Yeah, I guess the governor would just nominate somebody.
No, they said it's going to be a special election. It should never been. It should have been uncontested. He was dead.
I don't think they could. I don't know if an uncontested. I don't know. That's a special case when the candidate is dead. Like you can't just automatically give it to the other party.
He's dead. But
Yeah, but I don't think it works that way.
the fact that he won by 80% and he was dead for a month and a
Yeah,
half.
they're making a point there.
He's been
We'd
dead
rather
for,
have a dead guy than anybody else.
He's been dead for a month and a half, and they couldn't say that this election has to be sent off somewhere else, or this election can't go anywhere, or the person who's currently in that seat has to be there, or the governor needs to point somebody there until we can have a fair election. No, just elect the dead guy. Like there are a lot of problems in some of these states that don't make sense. And you know what the sad thing is? The Democrats say that dead people never vote in any of the elections, but the Democrats are willing to vote for a dead guy. It makes you wonder. Not saying anything, you two, but it makes you wonder.
I might vote for. See, I think they're just. I might vote for a dead person just to make a point. I'd rather have nobody in that seat than any of these people.
Or some of the people didn't even know he was dead.
That's probably what happened, right?
Because the people, like for example, remember you said they're like, "Oh, can I change my vote?" After they found out how bad Fetterman's health was and how bad his ability to speak was, some of these people didn't even know that the guy was dead because he didn't have to campaign very much. I mean, my God, this is the country that we're in right now, where dead people can run for office and win by 80%. Uh, a
That's a
doctor.
huge margin too. It makes you wonder, like 80%. Like, how did he get a margin that was that big? What district was he in?
Let's find out. I might have the margin wrong. Let me type this in here real quick. Uh,
Of course,
that guy.
our guy Mike Ezel did win by 74%.
I think he won by 81%. Let me see. No, I might be having his age wrong. He was 85. What was the
Oh
percentage?
my God! It was time anyway. It was time for him to
Yeah,
go
it
home.
was time. Inside Edition isn't telling me what the percentage is. No, yeah, wait,
We'll do it live.
86% right here.
Oh, it's out.
Anthony DeLuca won by 86%, and he
Yeah,
was
that's why he got.
and he was dead.
That's what Pittsburgh is, dude. Democrats.
Like
Democrats.
Fetterman didn't even win Pennsylvania by that much. I'm not Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh by that much. But this guy, this is who you should have ran for senator. Fuck Fetterman. You should have put this guy for Senate. He won by 86% in Pittsburgh. Fetterman won Pittsburgh on Joe Biden margins around 60%. I can't grasp that a dead person can get 86% of the vote.
I think they did it because they wanted to honor.
Oh, the heck, they almost had as many people vote for him as he is old. He's turned 85 to 86%.
He's no longer 85.
Yeah, now he's dead. But my God, like this is what they says. While we're incredibly saddened by the loss of the representative Tony DeLuca, we're proud to see voters continue to show their confidence in him and his commitment to democratic values by re-electing him posthumously. The Pennsylvania House Democratic Campaign Committee said. They didn't even know he was dead. Come on, tell the truth.
They didn't.
Heck, I didn't even find out this guy was dead until the election.
Yeah, I didn't hear about him dying.
You got dead people voting and, and dead people winning. Read one tweeter. You can't make this stuff up. America's elections are a hot mess. But it goes to show the Republicans put up a horrible candidate in that district if he lost to a dead guy by 86%.
Yeah, that's worse than Dr. Oz. He only lost.
Dr. Oz only lost by what, 5 or 7 points?
Yeah. I know what it is. Whenever you share your screen, I get a delay and I hear myself twice. I don't know why.
I don't know why either. But my gosh, I that dumbfounds me. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, should the Republican Party, which we're not Republicans, but should the Republican Party consider uh, putting Ronald Reagan up for a re-election?
Well, the problem is he's already dead before the election starts. So they've got to pick somebody who's going to die before the election, but is alive enough to get primary voted.
Oh,
Like
but it-
like Bernie Sanders or Joe Biden. They could nominate one of them. You know
or
what? Jimmy Carter, dude. Bring back Jimmy. He, Jimmy Carter. He's 98 now. He is officially the longest lived president of all time.
yeah,
No president has lived longer than him.
he's almost as old as the Queen.
He's about to be 100.
Oh, the Queen, he's older than the Queen, wasn't he?
Yes, 98. She was 96.
Yeah.
But it's historical, No president has ever lived to be that old,
Yeah.
before or after office. Well, obviously, it can't be before because then it wouldn't be
Well,
right.
didn't John Adams live to be 90,
Yeah.
or was it 93? Something somewhere around there. Because I knew he lived.
Anyway, it's not 98. It's not as long as Jimmy.
Hey, don't try to stop me from talking about John Adams. He's my Hamilton for you.
But dude, even if he was 93, he would have still been younger than George Bush Sr.
Oh yeah, what was he 95, 94?
I mean, he didn't die that long ago. HW.
Yeah, Herbert Walker Bush. But
Ancient presidents in our day.
but then now, you know, I completely lost all respect for Oprah Winfrey during this
He was 94.
94. I thought so. I completely lost all respect for Oprah Winfrey during this election when she came out in support. Let me check my phone real quick.
I still have respect for that woman. I never cared about her at all.
That's my brother calling me from the old pen.
Uh,
So, well, you got anything else you want to talk about?
no, you can take that call.
All right, then we're gonna wrap up the show. I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight here on the Story of America with Rhett and DeAndre. Uh, we what the hell? It's gonna talk yet? Okay, so um, we'll see you guys back here Wednesday for the SOA news. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, download on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, everywhere you can find us. The Story of America, Payson Williams, Story of America, PW. And we'll see you guys next time.